Princess Leonor revealed her plans to marry Prince Christian this September. The royal world is buzzing. Spain expected another chapter of duty, of patience, of waiting. But instead, Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne, has revealed something no one thought possible. A wedding. This September. And not just to anyone, but to Prince Christian of Denmark. A future king marrying a future queen. What began as quiet whispers within the palace corridors has erupted into a storm. This is not a simple announcement, it is a move that changes dynasties, shifts alliances, and challenges centuries of royal tradition. Why now? Why him? And what does it mean for the Spanish monarchy? To answer that, we must step back and understand Leonor. From her earliest years, she was groomed for a destiny greater than herself, the first queen regnant of Spain in centuries. Every move, every word, every gesture was measured, trained, perfected. Yet behind that polished exterior was always a young woman searching for freedom, for identity, for love. And then came Prince Christian. The Danish heir, reserved yet charismatic, burdened with his own future crown. Their worlds collided not at a political summit, not through calculated arrangements, but in something more unexpected, private royal gatherings where heirs meet not as rivals but as peers. It was there, sources whisper, that friendship grew. And from friendship, affection. From affection, love. But love in royal circles is never simple. Imagine the tension. Spanish courtiers whispering of duty. Danish advisors cautious of alliances. Families protective, yet aware of the global significance. A Spanish queen to be and a Danish king to be, marrying in their youth, fusing two of Europe's most historic crowns. It sounds like a fairy tale, yet the reality is layered with politics, responsibility, and risk. Now, why September? That is the question sparking debate across Europe. September marks not only the beginning of Leonor's second year at the military academy but also a symbolic season of transition, summer fading, duty intensifying, and the monarchy entering a new phase. By choosing September, Leonor sends a message: she is not waiting for approval. She is choosing love on her own terms, even within the confines of the crown. But does Spain agree? That is another story. While many young Spaniards see Leonor's choice as modern, brave, and deeply human, critics argue that rushing into marriage could distract from her preparation as monarch. The monarchy, still healing from past scandals, may fear that public perception will shift from duty to drama. And yet, others say this wedding could unite nations, spark enthusiasm, and remind the world why monarchies endure, not just as institutions, but as families. Consider the symbolism: a Spanish queen and a Danish king binding their futures. Their union echoes centuries-old alliances but also redefines them for a new era. Could this be Europe's answer to fractured unity, a love story doubling as diplomacy? Or will it stir jealousy and tension within neighboring royal houses? Leonor herself has made it clear, her voice, often guarded, has now spoken directly. She is marrying Christian. And the language she used was not hesitant or political, it was warm, decisive, personal. She spoke of partnership, of shared duty, of love that strengthens rather than distracts. For many, hearing Leonor's heart so openly was a first. The girl trained in silence now speaks with conviction. But every answer sparks new questions. Where will the wedding be held? Madrid, with its deep royal tradition. Or Copenhagen, symbolizing shared sovereignty. Or perhaps a neutral stage, an international statement of unity. Speculation abounds. Insiders suggest Madrid's royal palace is the likeliest stage, yet Copenhagen's Christiansborg Palace also holds symbolic power. Wherever it is, the spectacle will be unlike anything Europe has seen in decades. And then comes the cost. Reports suggest preparations are already underway for a wedding that could rival, even surpass, William and Kate's in grandeur. Tens of millions set aside for security, for ceremony, for the international broadcast that will captivate billions. For critics, this is extravagance. For supporters, it is history, a crown investing in its legacy. But beyond the jewels, the gowns, the carriages, there is a deeper story. The story of a young woman who has carried the weight of a crown since childhood, now daring to claim joy on her own terms. The story of a young man who could have chosen ease, but instead embraces responsibility at her side. Together, they are not just marrying, they are rewriting the narrative of monarchy in the 21st century. Still, the risks remain. What if this union strains relations between their families? What if political tensions rise? What if the public, fickle in its judgment, turns against them? These questions linger, unresolved, adding tension to every step toward September. And yet, despite the uncertainty, one truth shines: Leonor and Christian appear united. Their rare public moments together show not staged affection but genuine connection, glances exchanged, smiles that break protocol, subtle gestures of warmth. It is this authenticity that has convinced many that their story is not just strategy but love. So as September approaches, anticipation builds. Spain braces for a future queen who chooses love. Denmark prepares for a future king who shares his heart with Europe. The world waits for a wedding that will not only bind two heirs but also remind us of what monarchy truly means in modern times, not relics of the past, but living, breathing institutions shaped by human choice, human love, human risk. And when Leonor walks down that aisle, eyes fixed on Christian, she will carry more than a bouquet. She will carry centuries of history, the hope of her people, the scrutiny of the world, and the promise of a future no one expected so soon. Will it be the beginning of a golden era for Spain and Denmark, or the spark of challenges no one yet foresees? The answer awaits us all this September.